Chapter 1 of Bunny Brown and His Sister Sue at Christmas Tree Cove by Laura Lee Hope. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Sean McGaughey
and Sarah. Chapter 1 The Big Dog. Come on, Bunny. Let's just have one more teeter-totter, cried Sue, dancing around on the grass of the yard. Just one more. And she raced over towards a board put across a sawhorse, swaying up and down as though inviting children to have a seesaw. We can't teeter-totter any more, Sue, objected Bunny Brown. We have to go to the store for Mother. Yes, I know we have to go, but can't we go after we've had another seesaw just the same, can't we? Bunny Brown, who was carrying by the leather handle a black handbag his mother had given him, looked first at his sister and then at the board on the sawhorse, gently moving up and down in the summer breeze. Come on, cried Sue again, and this time she danced off towards the swaying board, singing as she did so.
Teeter-totter, bread and water, first your son and then your daughter. Bunny Brown stood still for a moment, looking back toward the house, out of which he and Sue had come a little while before. Mother told us to go to the store, said Bunny slowly. Yes, and we're going. I'll go with you in a minute, just as soon as I have a seesaw, said Sue. And besides, Mother didn't say we were not to. If she had told us not to teeter-totter, I wouldn't do it, of course. But she didn't, Bunny. You know she didn't. No, that's so, she didn't, agreed Bunny. Well, I'll play it with you a little while. That's nice, laughed Sue, 'cause it isn't any fun teetering and tottering all by yourself. You stay down on the ground all the while, less'n you jump yourself up, and then you don't stay, you just bump. Yes, agreed Bunny, I've been bumped lots of times all alone. He was getting on the end of the seesaw opposite that on which Sue had taken her place when the little girl noticed that her brother still carried the small black bag. Mother Brown called it a pocketbook, but it would have taken a larger pocket than ever she had to hold the bag. It was, however, a sort of large purse, and she had given it to Bunny Brown and his sister Sue a little while before to carry to the store.
Put that on the bench, called Sue when she saw that her brother had the purse, holding it by the leather handle. You can't teeter-totter and hold on with that in your hand. There was a bench not far away from the seesaw, a bench under a shady tree, and Mrs. Brown often sat there with the children on warm summer afternoons and told them stories or read to them from a book. Yes, I guess I can teeter better if I don't have this, agreed Bunny. Hold on, Sue, I'm going to get off. All right, I'm ready, his sister answered. You know if you get off a seesaw without telling the boy or girl on the other end what you are going to do, somebody is going to get bumped hard. Bunny Brown didn't want that. Sue put her fat, chubby little legs down on the ground and held herself up, while Bunny ran across the grass and laid the pocketbook on the bench. I suppose I had better call it, as Miss Brown did, a pocketbook, and then we shall not get mixed up. But, as I said before, you couldn't really put it in a pocket. Seesaw, Margarita, sang Sue as Bunny came back to play with her. Now we'll have some fun. And the children did. Up and down they went on the board their father had sent up from his boat dock for them to play with. He had also sent up the sawhorse. A sawhorse, you know, is made of wood. Though it has legs, it couldn't run. It's just sort of a thin bench, and the seesaw board can easily be put across it.
Bunny Brown and his sister Sue were gaily swaying up and down on the seesaw, and For the time, they had forgotten all about the fact that their mother had sent them to the store to pay a bill and also to get some groceries. They had not meant to stay so long, but you know how it is when you get to seesawing. "It's just the finest fun ever," cried Sue. "I'm sorry for boys and girls that ain't got any seesaws," said her brother. "Oh, I guess a lot of boys and girls have 'em, Bunny. Daddy said so once." "Did he? I didn't hear him." Up and down went the children, laughing and having a splendid time. Sue felt so happy she began to sing a little song, and Bunny joined in. It was the old ditty of the cow that jumped over the moon.
"We better go now, Sue," called Bunny after a while. "We can seesaw when we get back." "Oh, just 5 more times up and down," pleaded the little girl, shaking her curls and fairly laughing out of her eyes. "Just 5 more." "All right," agreed Bunny. "Just 5, that's all." Again the board swayed up and down, and when Sue was just sorrowfully counted the last of the 5, shouting and laughter were heard in the street in front of the brown house. "Oh, there's Mary Watson and Sadie West," cried Sue. "Yes, and Charlie Starr and Harry Bentley," added Bunny. "Come on in and have a lot of fun," he called, as 2 boys and 2 girls came past the gate. "We can take turns seesawing." "That'll be fun," said Charlie. "Can't we get another board and make another seesaw?" asked Harry. "We can't all get on that one. It'll break."
"I guess we can find another board," said Bunny. "I'll go and ask my mother." "No," said Sue quickly. "You'd better not, Bunny." "Why?" asked her brother in surprise. "'Cause if you go in now, Mother will know we didn't go to the store and she might not like it. We'd better go now and let Charlie and Harry and Sadie and Mary have the teeter-totter until we come back," suggested Sue. "It'll hold 4. Our board will, but not 6. Bunny Brown thought this over a minute. "Yes, I guess we had better do that," he said. Then, speaking to his playmates, he added, "We have to go to the store, Charlie, Sue and I. You can play on the seesaw until we come back. And then, maybe, we can find another board and make 2 teeters." "I have a board over in my yard. I'll get that," offered Charlie. "If we can get another sawhorse." "We'll look when we come back," suggested Sue. "Come on, Bunny." Sue got off the seesaw, as did her brother, and their places were taken by Charlie, Harry, Mary, and Sadie. Though Sue was a little younger than Bunny, she often led him when there was something to do, either in work or play, and just now there was work to do. It was not hard work, only going to the store for their mother with the pocketbook to pay a bill at the grocer's and get some things for supper. And it was work Bunny Brown and his sister Sue liked, for often when they went to the grocer's he gave each a sweet cracker to eat on the way home.
Bunny, followed by Sue, started for the bench where the pocketbook had been left. But before they reached it, and all of a sudden a big yellow dog bounced into the yard from the street. It leaped the fence and stood for a moment looking at the children. "Oh, what a dandy dog!" cried Charlie. "Is that your dog Splash come back?" asked Harry, for Bunny and his sister had once owned a dog of that name. Splash had run away or been stolen in the winter and never come back. "No, that isn't Splash," said Bunny. "He's a nice dog, though. Here, boy," he called. The dog, that had come to a stop, suddenly turned on hearing himself spoken to. He gave one bound over toward the bench, and a moment later caught in his mouth was the letter handle of Miss Brown's black pocket book. Darted away. Over the fence he jumped, out onto the street so quickly that the children could hardly follow him with their eyes. But it was only an instant that Bunny Brown remained still, watching the dog. Then he gave a cry. "Oh, Sue, the dog has Mother's pocketbook and the money. Come on, we've got to get it away from him." "Oh, yes," echoed Sue. Bunny ran out of the yard and into the street. following the dog. Sue followed her brother. The 4 other children, being on the seesaw, could not move so quickly, and by the time they did get off the board, taking turns carefully so no one would get bounced, Bunny Brown and Sister Sue were out of sight, down the street and around a corner, chasing after the dog that had snatched their mother's pocketbook.
"We've got to get him!" cried Bunny, looking back at his sister. "Come on!" "I am a-comin' on," she panted, half out of breath. The big yellow dog was in plain sight, bounding along and still holding in his mouth, as Bunny could see, the dangling pocketbook. Suddenly the animal turned into some building and was at once out of sight. "Where'd he go?" asked Sue. "Into Mr. Foswick's carpenter shop," her brother answered. "I saw him go in. We can get him easy now." On they ran, Bunny Brown and his sister Sue. A few seconds later they stood in front of the open door of a carpenter shop built near the sidewalk. Within they could see piles of lumber and boards and heaps of sawdust and shavings. The dog was not in sight, but Bunny and Sue knew he must be somewhere in the shop. They scurried through the piles of sawdust and shavings toward the back of the shop, looking eagerly on all sides for a sight of the dog.
"Where is he?" asked Sue. "Oh, Bunny, if that pocketbook and the money are lost, we'll find it!" exclaimed Bunny. "We'll make the dog give it back." As he spoke, there was a noise at the door by which the children had entered the carpenter shop. The door was quickly slammed shut, and a key was turned, and a hoarse voice cried, "Now I've got you! You shan't play tricks on me any more! I've got you locked up now!"
End of chapter 1.